welcome to the Nightly News. I'm Julia Fixon, and here's the hot topic of the week: pollution in Minnesota lakes. We've always known that pollution is a problem across the globe, but have we really seen the effects it can have on people and, more importantly, the environment? We have reporter Kaisa Nelson live at Snail Lake interviewing an environmentalist, Ellie Hauschmidt, to answer some questions.
Thanks, Julia. So today I am live at Snail Lake in Shoreview, Minnesota, talking to Ellie Hauschmidt, who is an ecologist from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, about pollution in common Minnesota lakes. So tell me a little about pollution in many Minnesota lakes.
Well, what many people don't know is that pollution stays in lakes much longer than people expect. Some pollution stays in lakes for up to 500 years. In one of my studies at the Pollution Control Center, we discovered that this is especially a problem because the erosion and chemicals from agricultural land, particularly in southern Minnesota, causes algae to grow. Algae-covered lakes tend to be less attractive to fishers and swimmers and can be harmful to fishes. Another problem is farm runoff. Farmers often pump their runoff into a river without thinking. This runoff doesn't just disappear as they think it does. Instead, it pollutes thousands of lakes and rivers across Minnesota.
Wow, I've never realized how bad Minnesota lakes were. Is there any certain lake in Minnesota that's bad?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the Mille Lacs Lake is an amazing example. I went to Mille Lacs to observe because I didn't believe the pollution was as bad as my colleagues said it was. But when I got there, I was astonished. There was trash all over. The people there said it was from ice fishers, but I doubt it. I believe it's from everyone dropping a little bit of litter every day. If every person only drops a sandwich bag on the ground, it would add up much quicker than most people would think.
How does the trash and farm runoff affect the environment and wildlife around the lake?
The trash and farm runoff can affect the different habitats of the species that live in the lake. For example, the litter can increase the acidity of lakes, destroying different plants that fish rely on as food and homes. But it's not just affecting the animals inside the water. It is also affecting the animals that live outside of the water. For example, birds who eat the fish affected by pollution, or birds who do not have enough fish to eat because they are dying due to pollution, are also affected.
Wow, that's a lot of great information. I wonder if there is any solution to these problems. Back to you, Julia.
Thanks, Kaisa. I actually found some information on how to help, if not solve, pollution. According to the Pollution Control Agency, you should avoid using fertilizer with phosphorus in them. If you're a farmer, you should control where your animal's manure ends up and not let it flow into a river. It is also important to keep others informed. Often the people that do the most harm have no idea what they are doing. You should help spread the word and explain to your friends and family about the risks and problems of water pollution. One more simple thing you can do is to sweep any fertilizer spill or grass clippings away from the road, which will bring them straight into lakes, rivers, and other habitats. Any last words from the lake, Kaisa?
Wait, Julia, we can't close yet. We can go ask this random bystander what they think about pollution.
A few moments later.
Hi, what's your name and what are your thoughts on pollution?
Oh, my name's not important, honey. Once upon a time, I was at this beautiful lake in up north Minnesota, and that little smart little whippersnapper you just had here on her 5 seconds ago, she was one of those smart people that thought they were smart, but they know nothing about lakes, came up to me and told me my lake was one of the 500 lakes in Minnesota that was you couldn't fish in it, you couldn't do anything in it because of pollution. So they deported me to this lake. And let me tell you something, this lake is not anything better than that lake that was there. So they pushed me out because of fishing, but here at this lake, I see algae floating everywhere, and what do I see? I see those fish flipped upside down, swimming upside down, but I tell you, they're not swimming, they are dead. And the algae, that is not natural at all. That is all fake stuff, and all these people are polluting it. I used to fish everywhere, every time, 4 meals a day, and there aren't even 4 meals in a day, but I used to fish that much. And now I can barely fish anything because all these fish are dead or they have mercury in them. And what does mercury do to you? I don't know, but I don't want to eat something that's on the periodic table of elements because it doesn't taste good or it's going to kill me. And not to mention all this trash I keep coming. I don't even know what the heck this is, but someone threw it in the lake because they thought it was a garbage can. Then what do you think this does to the environment? It messes it up. There's algae. My boat motor won't start because it's all clumped up with everything bad, all the pollution. We can't go water skiing. We can't go tubing. We can't do anything anymore because this stupid pollution. And the fish, what are we supposed to do about the fish? They're all dying left and right. We can't eat them. We can't do anything with them. And the habitat here is terrible. This whole place used to be full of green bushes.
Actually, I think that bystander had a point. There are a lot of social benefits of controlling pollution as well. According to the Boat Motors Water Quality section of the U.S. Environmental Laboratories, Minnesota has the second most boats in the nation. In 2010, there were 813,976 registered boats in Minnesota. 95% of motorized boats were less than 26 feet in length. Boats add metal and chemicals to the water, as well as fuel. This damages the environment and leads to polluted lakes. There are boats that are especially made to not pollute the water. Americans love using water as a place to hang out and have fun.
For example, birds who eat
Ellie Houchman, who is about pollution in common Minnesota lakes. So tell me a little about
This is a stupid sentence.
I know this sentence.